This is Zarek from Indignation Gaming, here with another gaming history. Released in 2007, 2 years after the original, Jedi Knight is the sequel to Dark Forces. This game is responsible for the Jedi Knight series becoming the most popular Star Wars game series of all time. Story-wise, it takes place shortly after Return of the Jedi. The main character's father was murdered by a group known as the Dark Jedi. Although those 3 lines are all you need to know, much like Dark Forces, the game provides plenty of story. In between nearly every mission, you'll encounter cutscenes of some sort. Unfortunately, they decided to take after Wing Commander and use real actors for their cutscenes. The villain, Jarek, is a spot-on match for the Joker from Dark Knight.
In time, Ron. First, I need something from you.
Perhaps the only Sith clown in existence.
I have no further use.
But he justifies his role as the villain with superpowers. If you're familiar with the original Dark Forces, you play as Kyle Katarn, a man with no lightsaber or no force powers, just your common mercenary. While the gameplay is remarkably similar to the original Dark Forces, that won't last very long. The story throws a curveball at you pretty quick.
To the ways of the Force.
This message is intended for my son, Kyle Katarn. I have left 2 very important items for you. The first is a map to the Valley of the Jedi. The last is a lightsaber. Use it well.
The game changes pace the instant you get your lightsaber. In moments, you'll be hacking people apart and deflecting laser bolts like a Jedi. It's these mechanics that set the game apart from Dark Forces, and not the enhanced graphics. All the guns are still accessible to you, and you can snipe your enemies pretty well. Without warning, you'll be pitted against people of questionable style, with powers they use in cinematics and never in the actual fights. These Dark Jedi are fought in small, enclosed deathmatch arenas, and as with missions, each one has its own cinematic attached to them.
Excellent, Katarn.
As with every other Star Wars protagonist, you'll get the standard fall to the dark side mantra.
But that is not enough!
Based on how many civilians you killed during the game, this is where it splinters off into another ending. In the end, however, it follows the same formula. The hero has a big lightsaber fight and saves the day. Unless, of course, he fell to the dark side, in which case it has a bad ending. While not nearly as popular as Doom was at its peak, Jedi Knight still featured a healthy community. Games such as Deathmatch and Capture the Flag were very common. However, because the game featured no server browser, people coordinated through IRC, Internet Relay Chat. You basically had to set up and agree to hold a game in order for it to happen. Servers didn't just stay up all the time. Now, oddly enough, there are communities that still dedicate themselves to playing Dark Forces 2 Jedi Knight online. They can be reached at the displayed links. Jedi Knight was just the beginning of the series. An expansion pack would follow it, entitled Mysteries of the Sith, which sets the stage for Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, which in turn leads to Jedi Academy. Each game, Jedi Outcast and Jedi Academy, was more popular than the last. They became progressively multiplayer friendly, at its peak creating a true rival for the Quake franchise. This concludes my coverage of Dark Forces 2, Jedi Knight.